All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 23. Shisui, you gotta get out of this, okay?
You gotta go. You gotta get.
But maybe first, send off Mother. That was such a line.
Send her off.
Yeah. I need to know exactly what that means, but just make sure that you're safe while you do it. Right.
Nah, I'd only take one. She doesn't have much soul left in her to blow away. Just like, blam!
Yeah. Like she's at the level where she needs some...
Long live the queen.
You're right, exactly. She needs
she
needs some Disney, like, cute animal to trip her so that she can, like, fall off a cliff or out a window or something like that.
Yep.
Right.
I absolutely need it. Even if it's not that, and it's just that she ends up just getting tossed to the soldiers, and they're like, all right, drag her away. And then she's just never heard from again,
Yep.
It's just like, yep, that'd be fine too. But
Bye.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. Mau, you gotta go to that old man and call him Papa at least once,
Right.
Help our boy Lihaku out, just if you can. That'd be great.
Because those kids are going to be okay, right? That's
right.
He's gonna be fine, right? Yep.
We hope so. But,
yeah.
Otherwise, what is gonna happen now? So,
I don't know.
Yeah, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this. There goes the whistle. You've done your work. Good. Oh! Whoa!
この砦に使い込んだ証拠は上がっている。どうなるか分かっていますか。国のためだと言われた。私たちはただ国のために。
Okay.
どうせ処刑台に登るなら。人を仕留めてやればいいもの。師匠。
It's already loaded.
Is that FIFA for him?
金軍が来ているのです。勅命が下っているのは分かっていますよ。もうろくしたか。火種もないのに。
Oh! What?
火種もないのに。最新型だ。火種がなくても発砲できる。
Oh shit.
ご存知でしたな。もう少し時間があればな。いや。あっても変わらんか。
He's stalling.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last time he saw her as she was. And she never came back. Dude's going out like a One Piece character.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, dang, okay.
お母様の望みを叶えるためについてきてもらいました。ずっと憎んでいたのです。この姿によく似て、自分よりずっと幼い事情を選んだからですか？上級妃であったお母様の。
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
whoa.
Because she was sent there before everyone found out about his preferences.
Yeah.
選定は母親に逆らえぬ暗愚な皇帝でした。そのため母親こそが実質的な最高権力者で皇宮にどんどん美女を送り込みました。そしてある時、
セメ、
わからない？これは好機なのよ。こんな北の地の領主の妻で。たまるものです。
Damn.
セメ、
私は上級妃として壊れて。
お母様はそのつもりだったのですね。
Wow.
高官の娘を妃と称して人質に取ることはよくあることです。
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
皇宮がこれだけ大きくなった理由をご存知ですか？新しい公共事業として皇宮の拡大を提言したそうです。
Wait.
奴隷交易に代わる。
だが当時奴隷制度は認められていた。
花町の妓女と似た扱いだと聞きました。しかし他国に売られた奴隷はその限りではありません。娘を人質に取られた死の一族は家業であった奴隷交易を縮小せざるを得ませんでした。
Whoa.
Damn.
残った奴隷たちの行く先として高級を利用してはいかがですか。若い娘は下女や女官に、男は宦官として入れるのです。
確かに。娘
Oh
は
my
他
god.
国に売られるより高級に預けられる方が罪悪感も減るな。
こんなになるくらいならあの時逃げ出していればよかったのに。
But she didn't come.
Holy shit.
抜け道を作った。
All that to try and save her.
Yeah.
And she was so up her, like,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. But she doesn't want to.
私は
oh.
君を諦められなかった。
And that secret path is what he ended
Dude.
up using for his
できずに
his daughters,
また
yeah.
会いたいとここまで。
What did she say? Oh.
あの方が次女の逮捕に先を越された上級妃。
Oh. It was the other women.
ふざけないで。この
Damn.
私が恥をかいたまま逃げろというの。
違う。
Wow.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
fantastic.
父様が倒れてすぐに家督を継ぎ、この女の母親などめとった男を
Oh my gosh.
法王のかんざし。
ええ、お母様もご存知でしょ。これを身につけられる者はキリンの一生と同じく皇帝の血を引く者。
Yeah, she had no idea. Yeah.
高級から追い出した赤子のことが心配で、たびたびお父様の手引きで顔を出していたそうですよ。
God damn.
お父様はお母様の次女と先帝の間にできた娘を妻に迎えました。やがて二人の間には子が生まれました。
Wow.
主上、
Yeah.
私の望みを叶えてくださると。
Mm-hmm.
でしたら上級妃のシェンメイを可視していただけませんか。
こうしてお母様は可視されたのです。
Wow.
Amazing.
先帝は愚かな男だ。
嘘よ、嘘よ、嘘よ。でたらめを言わないで。
でたらめですか。
God, she's owning the scene here.
Mhm.
お父様の最後はいかがでしたか。
Yeah.
笑いながら言ったよ。
あの男は自分の権力が欲しかっただけ。
You saying that?
お母様に媚びを売る一族の者たちが宮中で何をしていたかご存知でしたか。
それは国庫の横領の話か。
お父様は自ら国賊を演じることで死の一族の生みもろとも破滅するつもりだったのです。
Wow.
Damn.
師匠は国の腐敗を。
She's trying to negotiate for their family,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, basically.
For,
he
or for
did
all
this-
the other people here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
それが事実だという証拠はあるのか。
宮廷内に溜まった海はこれでだいぶ処分できたでしょう。
お前はあの男と一緒にずっと
And that's why
お
he.
母様の言う通りにやってきただけです。こんな国など滅びてしまえばいいと言っていたではないですか。
ほら、へい。そのためにこれを作らせたのではないか。
だってお母さん
Oh.
まるで小物なんですもの。
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
私は悪い娘ですね。
中に詰め物をしていたのか。
Ah.
新型は構造が複雑なんです。顔だけのバカなら本当に良かった。
So if he had taken it
Uh-huh.
and grabbed it to try
Yeah.
and he would have killed himself. Yeah.
Right. Or at the very least, severely injured himself.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's not dead yet.
もっと違う方法はなかったのか。
あったかもしれません。でも私
Yeah. After all that, you know.
贅沢を言うようですが、二つ願いを聞いていただけますか。ではこれを。本当はそれをネタに命乞いするつもりだったんですけど、うまくいきませんでしたね。一族でまともな思考の者は母に追放され名を捨てております。姉もまた同じようなものです。
Yeah, yeah.
その者たちは一度
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
like
they
it.
have, yeah.
ではもう一つの願いを。 りがとうございます。
What a character.
Is this the dance from the festival?
Yeah.
She will keep dancing until she falls.
世紀の悪女の一世一代の舞台、壊すことなんてできない。目をそらすこともできなかった。
Ah. That did it. Yeah. Oh.
それがローランを見た最後だった。体が重い。そういえばここ数日。
Wow.
あの娘はどうした？
無事です。
Yeah. Yeah.
随分ひどい姿。
あなた様もですよ。
Yeah. Yeah.
軍師殿がここにいなくて正解だったな。
This is absolutely beautiful, and yet
俺がいなきゃこんな目には。
Oh.
何をやっているのでしょうか。
Meanwhile.
俺は
Oh, no way.
yeah. So
Oh, no way.
oh
That-
my god.
That was the mic drop
yeah.
of all mic drops.
Yeah.
Like I've gone through the Code Geass era. I've gone through like so many things where people pull the like, you thought our plan was that simple, that we were just trying to create a rebellion. No.
That's
No.
so
That's
short-sighted.
so
and if
basic.
we were, we wouldn't
We
do
would
it
have
like this.
We would have won. We would have
Yeah.
taken over everything.
Right.
You fucking idiot.
okay,
Like, I love so
So-
much that they called this out because there were so many little things that I was just like, no, it's narrative convenience. It's working out for them because, of course, Jinshi and company aren't going to get taken over in that regard. But
something something that's a personal kind of like beef that I've had with stories is that there's this issue where you have the antagonist, and if it's not some kind of personal emotional motivation, but they're actually trying to strategically do something, right?
there's no personal element to
Right.
it.
Them getting beaten kind of inherently like
It asks
devalues their
a-
threat.
Well,
right?
it asks a lot. Well, yes, but it asks a lot basically of the plan and schemes and strategies of the other side.
Exactly. To properly match it.
beat it. Yeah.
Right. And so one of the things that I really appreciate whenever it happens.
Yes.
And it's difficult to do this in a way that isn't like too meta, but to have the antagonists know I'm probably going to lose. Like that's part of
my
what's
plan is losing.
Part of my plan is losing, right?
Yes.
Because if you do that, then you can have your antagonists win and your protagonists win. And it's great.
It's so good.
And the fact that they did this here
so good.
while having that, you know, beautifully personal motivation on all sides and everything.
Oh, just
God, it's so
juicy,
good.
dripping
Because
with personal.
Because what they
like,
also
stakes,
did
yeah.
is they basically made it so that the antagonists had their own antagonist, right?
Right.
That they're working against. And so they are the protagonist and antagonist.
They're
and
working to rid themselves of the
Right.
corruption within their own organization and
Yep.
faction.
And yeah, it like that totally makes sense because in a situation like this, you kind of can't stop the corruption through the regular means of the system.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work, right?
Right,
That's
right.
the reason that corruption exists is because
Yeah.
it is by definition the thing that is able to get past, you know, under
Yeah.
the radar, you know, slip between the cracks, all that stuff, right? And so, yeah, you form an organization that is basically we are, gather here, right?
Right. We're going to play on the desires of those that are corrupt and greedy and power hungry to bring them into a space where they will get a modicum of what they want so that ultimately we can burn the very ground they stand on.
Right. And it is...
I fucking love it.
And it is a legit rebellion because it has to be. One, the people won't be fooled if you don't. But then two, I mean, yeah, there's always the possibility that you actually succeed, right?
Right. And I love that the way they played into it was, hey, we do want to succeed in a way that would be still ridding ourselves of the corruption. So setting up tons of situations where it came really close to them actually winning. Like example number one being that Jinshi's hunting accident led to him actually dying.
Sure.
That was not part of the plan, though. That was something of Shisho saying how much his subordinates were just eager to test the new weapon, and were just like, yeah, we can get him just killed here.
Well, or put another way, the Jinshi almost dying in season 1, and Mao only barely managing to like piece the things together and stop it and stuff, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, if that happened, well, okay. I guess we killed the crown prince. Damn. Okay. But I'll bet after something like that, it would be pretty easy for then the rebellion, you pay the price of Jinshi, and in exchange, there is clearly a rebellion happening, and then, they stop at nothing to root it out.
Well, that's the other part that I find so fun about this, is a lot of the things that they were doing would be losses to us, but they wouldn't be wins for them with regards to a rebellion with changing this nation.
Right.
Because Jinshi dying is just, he's just a guy dying.
Yeah,
basically.
okay, cool. There isn't a crown prince anymore.
You're weakening, well, right. You have, yes, right.
But you don't actually have the country, right?
Right. So the idea that they've been constantly whittling and destabilizing, or attempting to in certain areas here, is also something that's setting up a situation where they can build something stronger afterwards.
Yep.
So they're testing, if you will, the weakness of the characters, and that's characterized literally here in this episode with her basically presenting the option to Jinshi to be like, you could take the gun right now. Like, if you're that kind of person, it would be easy for you.
Right.
And the way Jinshi's like, no, you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah.
I could tell that what you wanted was not really to kill me just for the sake of killing me.
Right.
You need me here to listen to what you have to say. So I'm the kind of ruler that would actually do that, even under threat of violence.
Right.
Which is saying something to not just his mental fortitude to be able to handle that, but I would say also to his empathy to understand that, like, this is such a hopeless situation for them.
Right.
That he's probably been all along the way grasping at his own straws of, or they're grasping at straws of being like, what did they think was going to happen? Like, I would love to know why, if we can get really down into the nitty gritty of this, because he just watched Shisho die in such a performative way.
Right. That probably, in a lot of ways, Shisho's death there
probably disappointed him. The way he said it was so abrupt.
Absolutely. But also, that's probably one of the reasons why he was like, oh, okay, you have a thing that, all right, yeah, I'll play along.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, where are you taking me?
Yeah.
It's
God. Oh.
Yeah, this was fantastic. It is very, very difficult to pull off the everything has gone according to our plan, which isn't quite what they did here, right? It's more that they didn't know how they'd get here, but they knew that they would probably end up here, and somehow.
Well,
right?
the part that I think that takes this all the way back to some of the most basic things that they've set up from the beginning of the show was the idea of the palace expansion. And I think it gave the idea of like, oh, this is a way that we could work this through while manipulating those that are corrupt. The idea that the Empress, as they were calling her, the Empress Dowager, was basically trying to manipulate her son, the Emperor at the time, in order to basically set her up in a way that she then had a son of his that she could then also control and puppet. But because he wasn't having any women basically come by in that regard. She didn't have a way to perpetuate her control, and thus she's frantic to try and get women there that he would, sleep with.
And the idea that, like, oh man, there were so many layers to, like, the things that have been set up before now, but then it's like, oh no, giving it extra, like, letting us see behind the curtain the reason for it.
Yeah.
The idea that, Shenmei, you were a hostage. You were not brought in to actually, like, bear a child. You were just...
At that point, they already kind of knew...
Yeah, maybe they did.
Maybe they suspected, basically, because they've already brought in so many. They didn't think probably at that point that another specific person is going to make any difference.
Right,
here.
And even if it did, great. That just makes it even less likely that your family is going to rebel because now you're in a position of more influence.
Can I go back to the slave thing though? Because I really feel like that's something that needs to be like genuinely looked at like really close. Is that it's not just that they were trying to set up a way in which they could have basically their people and the horrific aspects of slavery removed, but then they end up having hold on with this here.
That's a way for them to basically not economically lose out on their main export being made illegal.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, okay, I lost what I was going to say, but yeah, keep going with what you were talking about earlier.
That's just it's details like that I was not expecting a payoff on, right? The idea of the rear palace being so massive and it expanding or things like that, or like slavery being outlawed and all that kind of stuff, even though Mao Mao was kidnapped and sold, right, like into the rear palace. Like, you don't think about those things, and then it's brought up, and it's like, oh no, isn't that actually interesting how that all lines up? And the idea that that's just another thing to, to have Lolan just be able to tell her mother, you're unimportant, right? None of this was about you. All of these things that were happening, like, Shenmei as a character is one of the reasons that I think she works so well as an antagonist here is you absolutely hate her, and she also is a creation of this system, right? When Shisho came and was like, hey, come away with me, she was actually genuinely considering it and was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then it wasn't that she thought of the power and influence that she wanted. It's that she thought of how all of the other women were talking about her and saying, you're worthless, you weren't able to do this thing, right? And so that's what makes her actually stick around. That's where the bitterness sets in. That's where she becomes jaded and, and twisted and all that stuff, right?
Right.
And so then to say, as she's done all of these things, all kinds of crazy manipulations in order to potentially get what she wants of improving her own status and all that stuff, win at this game that society has basically told her since birth you are meant to play and that's your only purpose in life. Yeah, actually, that was kind of never about you. That was all just the system doing its thing, and you just happened to sort of be along for the ride.
Basically.
That's what makes it so that when she says, you're so insignificant, it really does cut deep. Not just because you're insignificant now, I've separated myself from you, I'm not going to be dominated by you, we are actually going to survive you and outlast you, but it's really, from the beginning,
right?
You were a pawn with delusions of grandeur, basically, and in a lot of ways, that's why you were able to get this far, right? Is because you didn't matter, because everyone thought of you as insignificant. You might have been able to have your little kingdom here where you're able to abuse people and all that stuff, right? And have your smooth talking, people that you gather around yourself.
Yeah.
But that's all it is.
Yeah. Okay, so I figured out what I was trying to get at here. I needed to watch a little bit of the episode's bit over again while you were talking here. I was trying to get at the idea that the Shi clan had to basically hand off the slaves to the rear palace as a marketing tip, basically, in order to set up the corruption in the Empress Dowager in this way ended up being the foundation for the plan that would then have them basically funneling the right people and
into
getting
the rear palace,
and setting up this foundation for that in order for them to then utilize their positions within the rear palace
to make political movements and all that stuff.
Right. But in doing so, also almost generationally kind of shifted the whole generationally shifted the whole course of the nation without even really intending to.
Oh yeah, no, the downstream consequences of all of the actions that were taken are fantastic.
Right.
As far as like just showing the way that this wheel turns, and I think adds even more to the poetry of Shenmei's downfall here, in that the very system that, you know, like turned her into this twisted person.
Right.
Is now also something that, oh, hey, guess what? From the very beginning, your own family's survival was directly tied to perpetuating and not just perpetuating,
system, but recoloring. Well, that was the part. Yeah, exactly. Growing it. But it's the specifically the painting it over with a new brush, basically, of we're going to put makeup on the slavery thing.
Right.
And we'll call them
jobs.
We'll call them servants of the rear palace. Therefore, people will have less guilt about selling off their children to the rear palace because it's going to be such a privilege. So that twisted, fucked up way of thinking is the same logic that she went through to justify why it was such a great opportunity to go there and thus reject her fiance, who's just some lowly lord or what have you.
Right.
I just love the I don't even know what the word is. I don't even know if it's just irony or if it's something else, but I just love the way this all comes full circle, the almost the fatal, I guess, kind of aspect of this coming all the way back
like
to
Greek tragedy kind of.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, kind of, but it's dark. It's not not like a tragic thing. In that
no, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that little bit of you that even back then, before going to the rear palace, is like, oh yeah, I'll be able to make something of myself there. I won't have to be married to this lowly lord.
Right. You know? And I think that this is what I'm talking about, why it's so good from like a foreshadowing perspective, is that the whole premise of the show is predicated on this cultural thing being done. Because Mao Mao was basically sold into slavery, even though it wasn't technically that.
Right.
And thus she's been, in a lot of ways, in that same position and getting to experience it through the entire premise of the story, while actually it's all set up to be used as foreshadowing for the Shi clan's rebellion and everything. Like, there's something that needs to be studied in this show with how it does foreshadowing in ways that is so indirect, like so completely indirect.
And this is not the first, like,
this is not the first instance.
This is not the first instance of it. That it's right. That's kind of been, other than, you know, the fantastic protagonist that is Mao Mao.
Yeah, that's
kind of its main like signature as far as how it tells story.
That's where it gets the soap drama kind of aspect
because we get to see all of these little, you know, vignettes and stories of the episodes as the show goes on, and there will be things that are brought up that Mao Mao's like, is that connected to this? Maybe not. It's above my pay grade.
Right.
And then, you know, we're setting up this tower to work with later.
But I think what I'm trying to get at is that there's something with the way that the world building is actually perfectly blended in with the foreshadowing, in that, like, when you do foreshadowing, you need to have there be a relevance to what you're bringing up to the immediate story.
Yeah.
Usually, world building is, in my opinion, where writing is the laziest, because you're just trying to catch the audience up on some exposition as to how this world works. So you can bring in an immediate conflict surrounding it, which is why the characters need to talk about it. A great example is the devaluing of a courtesan, which is one of the things that's done in the earliest few episodes of the show, where a character tries to set up a means by which a girl then has to leave the rear palace in order to then be with the man that she loves. Right. Now, that's all speculated. We don't know for sure that that's what happened, but that's something that they've used.
To set up the Feng Shan,
all this stuff with Lacan and everything as well. But it's also now being used again here to showcase the way in which Shisho did whatever he could. He moved heaven and earth to try and set up a means by which then he would be able to design the rear palace in its expansion in a way that would give him a secret tunnel to be able to see his fiance again and be like, get her out. Please run away with me.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
Right.
No,
and
yeah, because all right. I got a thing to go off on here.
Right.
One of the things that is normally frustrating to me, but I kind of just turn that part of my brain off a lot of the time, is the impractical nature of a lot of things that happen in conflict in narrative.
Yeah.
How does the Empire field Star Destroyers? How does the money work, right? That kind of stuff. And it's usually not relevant to the story, and hey, go along with it because we want to use Star Destroyers, right? In this case here, how do you get a whole goddamn secret tunnel out of a rear palace where no one's supposed to go? Like, even if you had the resources to make that work, but nobody knows about this tunnel, how would you make it happen when no one even goes back here other than eunuchs and everything? Like, even... How? Like, there are so many... Like, how would you have the eunuchs be on your side to help with the construction of this thing and not, talk about what's going on or whatever, right? But, oh, hey, if you were the one selling the eunuchs to the palace, that might be able to help out there. 2, if you orchestrate things so that then the palace is wanting to expand, that gives a reason for there to be construction. And, and oh, hey, the money from that is directly going to you, and you're, very heavily involved in all the stuff that happens here, so you'd be able to oversee something like this.
Right.
Fantastic. Awesome. It makes sense. And the thing is that we didn't necessarily need that, right?
No.
It would just be a thing where when we open the fridge to get some food at midnight, we're like, hang on, in Apothecary Diaries, they never explained where the tunnel came from. And whatever, that's fine.
We could have extrapolated some semblance of
sure,
this.
And even if we can't, we had a great experience with it, so that's not a plot hole, that's a nitpick, right? They told a great narrative, don't worry about it, But the fact that it's all here.
It's not just that it's all here. It's tied directly to character motivations that are not just
arbitrary or whatever.
Well, no, they're not just impersonal ones, but they're personal ones as well.
It is part of the narrative. The fact that the practical question of how the fuck did this happen is part of the
Right. And this is all intentional foreshadowing put into the world building. Disguised with episodic narrative, given specifically to educate the viewer on just the culture and stuff of this world, while even if it wasn't perfectly planned out from the beginning, the ability to take from that these types of narratives, even if you had to have a setup where you have Lolan Shisui exposit the whole thing straightforward to her enemy here, it's incredible. It deserves to be
Yes.
So I am wanting to make sure it was properly glazed.
So glaze it, we shall.
Because when they brought up this stuff, I could just tell that I was like, wait a minute, this is masterful, but I need to be able to explain with words why it's masterful. And so I appreciate you guys who let me kind of sit there and cook on it in my head for a second. Because when you watch anime like this, you kind of get your internals all fucked up as you're like, I am reeling from all the awesome, and now I need to try and talk in a legible way why I think it's awesome, but also explain it in a way that is just based on observations. I'm not just trying to persuade y'all that this is good, this cinema,
Slight peek behind the curtain. Apothecary Diaries actually is a very interesting one to react to because there's so much information that's there and given to you, but the characters don't know how to connect all the pieces of information, and they actively decide to not try and do that, right? And so
most anime do the opposite of that. They tell you what you should think when they have no reason to do that.
And so that makes it very, interesting, because then as you're coming into this, you can take the approach of, well, as it becomes relevant, they'll bring it up again. But you also want to be able to theorize about stuff and everything, so you want to make sure you have your facts straight. But there's a lot of facts to keep straight, and the people don't even necessarily know.
And by the very nature of the story, you can tell that they're dropping little hints towards things that are some more obvious than others. But then with this, you have the, oh, no. You were right to,
that thing that you were like, that seems a bit off.
Yeah. It's exactly
we knew
right.
that. You knew that.
I
Good
specifically thought, like, this fortress is a very bad place to stage a rebellion
Right.
from.
Yeah. Like, I think we talked about it
I
in
literally
a
talked
episode
about
of,
that,
like,
I think, like 3 or 4 episodes
it's like,
ago.
no, you'd want to have it be, like, cell-based and roving around, and that way the army can only ever catch up to one of them, and you go, like, and it doesn't matter they have more men than you. Action economy, you win, right?
Right. No, Shisho wanted this whole thing to fall apart. Was that because he felt shame for how he failed his fiancée, his wife? Was that also maybe his own form of timid vengeance against her? Was that also loyalty, specifically to the late emperor? Is that something where he got what he wanted, but then he feels the almost karmic, like, oh,
yeah,
like, I'm horrible. Like, I didn't,
And this here is one of the reasons why I think they're able to do the antagonists win while they lose kind of thing so well.
Yeah.
Is because it would be very easy for something like this to then fall into the realm of contrived, where it's you're telling me this was the plan the whole time? No. And Lolan brings that up of, and if we won, well, then I guess we won, and we'll deal with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the idea that basically
we could have won.
And
it would have been easy.
Well, no, right. But even if you guys basically blundered it and we ended up winning, we'd still work with that, right? Like, it's you have plans, multiple different, very different kind of results, all kind of work for you because, oh, hey, the human heart in conflict with itself. You want multiple different things. And so you go for all of them at the same time with a singular plan. And so if it ends up being something where you lose out on 3 of them, you still got 1 of them, right? And it's great. And I love it. And it's fun. I love it when a plan comes together, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that it was one plan of many or, whatever, that whole thing, that doesn't detract from the brilliance of it. And in fact, there should be this is the kind of smart anime character like bullshit that I want in fiction, in an anime and all that, because no, the brilliant mastermind strategist or whatever is not the person who's like, I'm going to have everything run meticulously like this pistol, because in reality that would be so easy to have it backfire, right? No, I'm going to have a bunch of different plans. And I know I'm very likely to get at least one of them to work.
Yeah.
And they did.
Yeah. I love the idea, though, that after Lolan's given the full speech here, her request is those that can think rationally, have all been ousted by my mother and lost their names. So,
yep.
They have already died once.
Right.
They've been...
Yeah, giving the out for you have to put everyone to the sword. It's like
there's a village that's been hidden and moving around, basically. And they're innocent. Like, they have nothing to do with this.
Yep.
Please don't go send the rest of your army to go find that village, basically.
Right.
And wipe them out. Would you consider sparing them? Jinshi does not say yes. He says, I'll do what I can.
Right.
And while it's more positive than negative, like he's basically saying, I don't have ultimate power. I am not the emperor here.
Right,
but I will fight on your behalf.
When the second most powerful person in the nation says I'll do what I can, that's not a guarantee, but they can do a whole fucking lot.
Right. But the idea that her other wish she doesn't even really state, but basically brings her hand to the image of the man that kind of did fuck all this up. Like in a lot of ways you could blame all this on the Empress Dowager of the late emperor.
But it was a collective effort.
But it was a collective effort. There was so much pain and trauma and hurt doled out by the two of them in their different ways.
In a similar way with Shenmei, right?
Yes.
She is like having a little bit of ambition and maybe not being the nicest person at the start or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's whatever. Regular people are like that too.
Yes, exactly. That's not her evil.
Right. The shit that she ended up going through of being in the rear palace, trapped there, all that stuff, all that, right? that's the system. The system is to blame for that.
That's the creation of the thing.
That's the creation of the thing.
Yeah.
She's still a fucked up monster that needs to be ended, as a result of all the stuff that she does after that, right? It's a joint thing. It comes from both. And so in a similar way with the previous emperor, that Empress Dowager, oh my God, she did a lot.
Right.
And also the emperor did a lot.
You don't deserve to be punished for that, Jinshi. You are, in some ways, she's drawing a connection here like the other members of the clan or what have you. But my mother went through a lot here. So I will give her just this.
Right. I'll give her this little bit of vengeance.
This tiny bit.
But also, thinking about it another way, she is potentially helping any other surviving victims of the late emperor who then have to see Jinshi, because by marring his face, she is making there be a specific difference.
Yep, thank you. I was literally going to say that, was that she is tarnishing the image that connected him to the late evil man, basically.
Have him carry that scar, for the rest of the show and all that stuff.
Yes.
Because you're not your dad, right?
Yeah. And in some ways, her doing it to the side, behind the eye, in an area that will bleed nicely and it will scar nicely.
Oh, yeah.
It's also something that if they wanted to, and this is way extrapolating into it, but it's something with how beautiful he is and how his hair is so long or what have you, you could hide this.
Sure.
You could hide this if you wanted to. But I think it's a gift in disguise, and then the obvious other aspect of it is that now that I've harmed you, you must kill me.
Right.
Put all the frustration, anger, and everything of this out on me, which if she's wearing happens to be some kind of, gun-proof nonsense under that dress, which I could totally see her having.
I did not see blood in the bullet wound. I saw blood go down the hand.
Yeah, I saw blood go down the hand.
And also, just gonna say...
So might that she took a non-lethal wound because the gun didn't fire exactly right into the torso.
Well, and there was the whole thing of I think the first volley and then the reload and then firing again. I'm not sure if that's
so I think
finagly, stuff with how it was portrayed.
No, I think that the volley specifically fired when she was dancing. And then she stopped for a minute because she did get hit.
Right,
and then she kept dancing. The keep dancing part to me implies that she was not hit in a lethal way, but she did get hit in a non-lethal way, and that's why a shoulder got hit. So when she falls...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, totally.
She could still be alive.
No. So, okay.
And it's that Lolan is dead.
No, right. Last thing that I do want to say about the whole Jinshi being marked thing...
Oh, yes.
...is that it was also her mother's implement. So she wanted to, So there's just that nice poetry there. But yes, so I think Shisui is alive. The idea that she got shot and all that stuff, but the fact that she keeps dancing, if she has a thing that protects her, right?
Yeah.
And maybe she got shot a little bit, in a non-vital area that wasn't protected or something.
Right, somewhere on the arm that would make the blood come down her hand. Yeah.
But the idea, the gall, the cojones, the chutzpah.
Yes.
To be I'm going to fake my own death. But after I get shot by 3 people.
Right.
I'm going to keep dancing because this dance is awesome. And the fact that could theoretically have them clue into the fact that you're faking your death and that you didn't actually take some of those shots.
Right. There's all kinds of things that can get played because remember we're in Apothecary Diaries and we're going to have fun with what imbibing certain things with the human body allows you to do. So that being said, she also prefaces this dance with, I wonder if I can be a better actor than my father.
Right.
Which could also lend credence to that. This is just a theory.
Yep.
And I've had a lot of theories on this show, so bear with me.
Doing a pro gamer move here.
Yeah, exactly. I think that she's alive, and the reason why they had that one guard
going there is because, she had planned on it. Yeah.
Well, not just she had planned on it specifically, but he found something basically that was on her.
Yeah, I think it was the finger covering thing.
Okay, it could be the finger covering thing.
It might have been a different color, but
the other thing that it could be, specifically, is because Mao Mao handed the Jinshi hairpin. Shisui could be like, I don't deserve this, you know.
No, I think
that the only person who would know that she's still out there would be Mao Mao specifically.
Yeah, right. So,
what do you think it is? You think it's the finger implement?
I think it's the finger implement.
Then why is it not near? So you agree with me? You think she's alive?
Oh, I think she's alive. I think she's alive.
Not near a body.
Here's the reason why I don't think it's Jinshi's implement.
Okay.
Is because this is the second to last episode of the season. And something like this, oh no, is the person still alive?
Right.
But we're neither confirming nor denying, that's some shit that you do at the very end of a piece of media, right?
Right.
So, the fact that didn't happen here, and we do have the thing of Mao Mao being like, you know, like, give this back to me. Next episode, here's my prediction. She's not going to deliver it in person, I don't think. If she did, goddamn, girl, you are built different.
You're ballsy, yeah.
What I think is going to happen is that Mao Mao is going to come into possession of the hairpin somehow. She's going to find it. She's going to, you know, whatever, right? Like
the end of the opening is the hairpin.
Right, exactly.
In her hair.
Exactly. And also something else that I just want to bring up, and maybe this seems completely disconnected, but the fact that we get the ED in this episode and we don't actually get the visuals of the ED. One, the time that they used the ED, I think was perfect. It was fantastic. Yeah. But something that was heartbreaking to me about that, thinking like, oh, Shisui's dead, is that the ED is when you see Mao Mao and Shisui and Xiaolan together having fun. Right. And so the fact that we don't get to see that while we hear the music kind of just drives home the point even more of her absence, right?
Right.
But it's not the last episode of the season.
Yeah.
So we could get the ED after Shisui is confirmed, or in a way that Mao Mao is aware of that she is alive, and then we get the ED and Shisui's in there, and there you go. Happy ending, right?
Could be.
But
yeah, Mao Mao has a purple spot on her neck. That's fun. That's fun.
Interesting.
Setting up maybe some things with the kids potentially.
And the kids are here. Awesome. And she's here with them, so she'll be able to oversee them probably being woken up.
Yep. And I am very excited for the next episode.
Me too.
I am very excited for the next episode.
Oh yeah.
This was a masterful episode.
Yes.
And I think that Apothecary Diaries does deserve to go into the discussion of like some of the best plot twists in anime. Just from this one here.
Yeah.
Because I love Lolan and Shisui, just Lolan and Shisui together as a character.
Yep.
Fantastic character. But you really had only so much time to develop all the other characters in the family.
Right.
So you needed to tentpole the family on a specific character's shoulders with regards to characterization.
Well,
and so the fact that Lolan or Shisui was the one for that here just was done exceptionally well, despite all the other incredible characterization they gave to the others.
And I'm going to say the other one is Shenmei.
Yeah.
Because there are so many things that become simpler as a result of her existing, right? And I'm talking in the kind of like cold and cruel way, right? Where characterization is able to be simpler and while still being profound and heartfelt and everything, because my God, this woman is a monster, right? And so all the people in proximity, there are so many things that end up getting inferred. The fact that we're able to have something so heartfelt with Shisho, when this effectively, in my mind, is the first time we actually get characterization for him. Because everything else we've had up until now is the mask, right? It's
the
him
Tanaki mask is on.
It's him in his position of influence and power and all that stuff. And that is a form of characterization, but like not the real stuff. And so the fact that we were able to have him end, right? Have his end here and still have it carry so much weight to it and feeling.
Yeah.
When we don't really know this guy. No. Like that is a testament to the fantastic things that were done with Lolan / Shisui and the, messed up but very effective and gripping things that were done with Shenmei.
Yeah, I double checked and there is a shot on Lolan or Shisui on her leg where she definitely was shot. There's blood thickening through the dress there.
Okay.
And there was one a little bit on her left or right arm.
Right, because the blood ran down her
hand. Yeah. So at the very least, she was shot twice. So one of the shots might have missed just because she was dancing.
Sure.
But then the next one that hit her in the chest specifically.
Oh, is that when the blood goes down the hand?
So no. That's after. That's right here. Then when she gets shot, it does have a bunch of flecks of
fabric
going off,
but no immediate blood.
Now, when they show the back of her, this is the part that she gets shot, and they show the back. There's no exit wound.
Right.
Now there is some kind of a stain right here,
but that could be soot and ash or whatever.
Yeah.
I think there not being an exit wound makes a lot of sense. These
are
bullets,
new weapons.
Well,
and stuff.
These are also round bullets. You know, they're not going to have a lot of penetrating power, and she's wearing a lot of thick clothes. While it's not going to stop the bullet entirely.
Yeah, she's got bones there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of stuff that the bullet would have to go through.
The bullet could be inside her, but I wanted to bring up also that when the shot is made, this music is covering all audio, meaning that if there was something that caught the bullet,
oh, nice,
we wouldn't hear it as the audience, and they would have plausible stuff to make sure that it wouldn't work.
Sure.
Now, other characters might have heard it, but she's still also falling from the ramparts a good 40 feet or what have you.
And regardless, it's not like the sound of the gunshot and the impact would be different at that close. It's just you hear the gunshot and there might be another sound in there too.
Well, yeah, but you could hear like a ting or something.
No, right, but it could very easily be drowned out by the gunshot.
By the gunshot, yes, the echo reverb of it. Our ability to differentiate sounds in the midst of very loud sounds is very limited.
And the other thing I just want to say, as far as a person gets shot or whatever, and they theoretically could have some precaution that they did. One, with the level of scheming that these women have been doing in this show, that's fully plausible. Two, specifically with Lolan / Shisui, she's been all about her appearance and being able to obfuscate things. So the idea that she absolutely could have obfuscated in all her crazy robes and regalia and everything, something that would have a decent chance of stopping a bullet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it feels also connected a little bit to the idea of her plan being one where I could win, or we could not. And
I could die.
Yeah.
This is not a sure thing.
I can't just guarantee anything here.
But if we're lucky, if fate smiles on us, if our mask does burn before going into the water,
if it burns properly,
then maybe we can get our wish.
Maybe we can get our wish.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much here.
This
so the
is
next episode's
delightful
gonna be
and incredible.
So
and
much
next
fun.
episode, let's go.
But y'all so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You got an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.